Yes, good evening, everybody. How are we doing? Sam here, live on United People's TV with the pre-Norwich build-up show. The team news is out. I'll bring you that in a second. But Manchester United tonight, travelling to Carrow Road. Norwich are 20th in the Premier League right now. They are rock bottom. And Norwich really have not been that good this season. They're definitely improved. Under Dean Smith, couldn't really have been that much. They couldn't have been any worse than they were under Daniel Farku. But United are going there tonight, and we have to be full of confidence, full of beans, and we should be a bit rejuvenated. All right. The team news is out. Let's get straight into it. You know what to do throughout this entire stream. You let me know what you're thinking about the team, about everything, about the fact that I was 4 minutes late. Hey, got to keep you on your toes. That's what I say. Keep you waiting. Let's go over here and let's see the team news. Let's react to this. And Ralph Rangnick has named an unchanged 11. There is no changes from that team that played Crystal Palace. We changed the team completely. 11 players out for the Young Boys game. We've changed the team completely back. 11 players back in. So we've got De Gea in goal. We've got Lindelof and Maguire as the two centre-backs. We've got Dalot and Telles both holding and keeping their places as our two fullbacks. And we're sticking with the 4-2-2. Fred and McTominay in midfield. Bruno and Sancho as the two number 10s. And then you've got Ronaldo up front with Marcus Rashford. So if we were to head over here, look at the tactics board, I predicted that Rashford would not be dropped, but given Greenwood's form, I said he would come back in. I thought he was going to start today. But look, I got 10 out of 11. And let's be honest, it's quite an easy team to predict, wasn't it? And I say that in a positive way. I say that in a good way. When it comes to chopping and changing, it sometimes is worth it. Sometimes it's not necessary. And I don't think it's necessary. I completely stand by Rangnick's decision there to keep a completely same 11. Now, of course, I think there's going to be arguments. A lot of you in the comments are going to be like, Sam, but Eric Bailly played so well against Young Boys. He deserves it. Hey, look, we had much. Of course, we didn't have as much control against Young Boys. We had Matic as a centre-back. We had Van der Beek and we had Mata as the two central midfielders. We were never going to get that right. Jerry, you got it right, though. 11 out of 11. Bradbury, you think that Greenwood should have started. And Noel, you're saying that Greenwood should be in a team instead of Rashford. I agree with it. I agree with both of you. I thought he should have been too, but he isn't. And it's not to say that. Let's see what Rashford does tonight, eh? Rashford has an opportunity. He needs to play well because Greenwood's form, if you're looking, he got the assist for Fred's goal against Crystal Palace, and he scored that cracking goal against Young Boys as well. Robert, I can see you've joined as a member, my friend. Lovely to have you on board. Where are you watching from, buddy? I'll try and give you a shout out. But look, I'm happy about it. Up the Rangnick Reds, I can see in the comments. And yeah, it's an unchanged 11. And in my opinion, I think that's a good thing. We saw a lot of positives in that game against Crystal Palace. I think anyway. We saw Manchester United actually controlling a game of football. And we all had to rub our eyes and be like, what are we watching? I've not seen Manchester United do this enough this season. It's because we hadn't. But we did that against Crystal Palace. And remember, that was after one training session. You really can't underestimate how significant that is. One training session. It was incredible. So now we've had a full week. And these players here have had a full week's rest. If you're looking at that game against Crystal Palace and what was good and what was bad, the first 45 minutes against Crystal Palace was fantastic. We should have been 2-3 up. We weren't clinical enough in front of goal, for sure. But in the second half, let's be honest, it looked like the team tired a bit, eh? It looked like the team sort of took their foot off the gas. We weren't anywhere. We weren't at the races in that second half by comparison to the first half. Now, was that a fitness-related issue? If that was the case, and maybe the players fatigued, then what we're looking at here going into this game against Norwich is a full week's rest, complete 7 days. Entire 11 was taken out for that game against Young Boys. It was a dead rubber game, and it's allowed our players to rest, to spend a week on getting inside this Rangnick system, on learning the principles, because we showed it in abundance in the first half against Crystal Palace, and I want to see it here for this game against Norwich. It's a comment here from Akshay. How you doing, Akshay? Nice to see you there. We have a match again on Tuesday. He'll rotate the lineup then. Right now, Rangnick wants energy in the team to press. Of course, we've got Brentford on Tuesday. And then who have we got the weekend after that? I can't remember the fixtures, but it's coming thick and fast for Manchester United. Brighton, that's who we've got, I think, at home, 12:30 on a Saturday. What's your predictions, eh? You let me know in the comments below. Pimp Dollar, you're not Pimp Dollar. You're not that happy because you're seeing Jones on the bench. Who else we got down on the bench here? Let's zoom in so you can see that. We've got Tom Heaton. Dean Henderson, another 2 goalkeepers on the bench. A bit weird. Eric Bailly, Phil Jones, Luke Shaw, Lingard, Van der Beek, Elanga, and Greenwood. What do you think about the bench there? Who would you expect to be able to come and change the game from the bench there? Surely that's got to be Mason Greenwood, but Elanga's probably going to want to come on today. You know what? Yeah. So the predictions down here in the comments. Let's read a few of these out. Takeoff, you're saying 3-0. And Dougie, you're going for a 4-0. Sa, you're going for a 3-0 win as well. I mean, there's a lot there. I can feel it. There's a lot of confidence going among United fans going into this game. And it absolutely should be, by the way. Look at this. Let's go and have a quick look at some pre-match stats going into this game. 18 times we've played each other in the league, and we've won 14, I think. Actually, I don't really get these stats. Let's ignore that one there. And let's go down to this one here, because this is the all-important one. The form guide going into the game. Manchester United coming in off the back of 2 wins in a row. This could be the first time, I believe, this season that we've won 3 games in a row in the Premier League. Not the sort of stat that you want to associate with the Manchester United team. That's for sure. But look, we had a 1-0 against Crystal Palace. We've had a 3-2 against Arsenal. And we had a 1-1 against Chelsea. That's a very good response to when we bottomed out after the Watford game and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got sacked. We're in good form coming into this. Take a look at Norwich. Lost 3-0 against Spurs, drew against Newcastle and Wolves. Then they go back. They've won a couple of games in a row against Southampton and Brentford. But look at this. As I said, Norwich are rock bottom of the Premier League, ladies and gents. They've only won 2 games. 2 games. Average goals scored per match is 0.53. They score. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Average goals conceded per game, over 2 goals on average per game Norwich have been conceding this season. We should be going here, and we should be going here playing like Manchester United should be playing. It's one of those cliches I do say here on the channel. Chest puffed out. It should be a chest puffed out game, right? Norwich are rock bottom of the league. They are going to be praying that they can avoid being relegated this season and nothing else. And we've got to go here today. And if you're looking at the recent form against Norwich, we've had their number apart from once at Old Trafford. Last few games, we won 4-0 at Old Trafford. We beat them 3-1 at Carrow Road the last time we played them, which was a long time ago, eh? October 2019. Then obviously they got relegated. We beat them at Carrow the last 2 times we played there. And we've only lost once in the last 5. We've got to have a massive amount of confidence. And as I said, that confident swagger that we need, the arrogance. We need that arrogance. Go down here, look at the most impressive players in between everyone here. Ronaldo's a top goal scorer. Pogba's still top in the assists, more than double of anyone else. Bruno's the most passes, and Pierre-Lise Milou, most tackles. That's interesting. Salim, I can see you down there waiting patiently in the arms, my friend. I'll bring you in and we can have a chat. Let's try and pull up the Norwich team news and see what's going on there. But this is Manchester United's team news. What's your reaction for the fact that we haven't changed anybody? Do you like the fact that we've done an unchanged 11? Are you annoyed with the fact that Greenwood didn't start? Or do you think, no, you know what? I completely understand why Rangnick kept that team in, because I certainly do. Let's go over here. So according to Norwich City's Twitter account, we've got this up here for you. They're going to be playing a 4-3-3. Billy Gilmore holding the midfield on his own. Okay, that's interesting. Tim Krul, Giannoulis, Kabak, Hanley, and Max Aarons. Of course, people will be knowing Max Aarons and watching him. Brandon Williams would probably be starting this game, but of course, he's ineligible because he's on loan from United. Midfield 3 of Gilmore, McLean, and Rupp, and Josh Sargent, Timu Pukki, and Placheta. Oh, I have no idea who he is. But that's the Norwich team, of course. Pukki, wow, he's a championship player, isn't he? In my opinion. Pukki had that amazing form that was at the start of 2019 when he dominated and everyone got him in the fantasy team. Adrian, you're saying if it isn't broken or if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it's exactly what Rangnick chose to do today. Now, Salim, let me bring you in, my friend, and see how you're feeling ahead of the game today. Nice to see you on this Saturday evening.
Hello, Sam.
How are you doing, man?
Likewise, happy to see you too, man. I'm good, thank you. How about you, my friend?
I'm doing okay. I'm not surprised at all, really. I think we
Right?
all could
Yes.
expect it, right?
Yeah, of course.
But in a good
I mean, the team is winning. Why to change it?
what do you think?
And
Do you carry
as
on?
Ragnick said, so he still don't know very good player. So to change just make change for changing. What's the purpose?
Don't make change for the sake of it.
Yes, I thought maybe Greenwood could start instead of Rashford, but
I imagine he'll come on in the 60th minute, right?
Mhm.
Somewhere around about there. It's a good
Even
sub to
though
have.
I thought Donny van de Beek for McTominay, for example, maybe I thought that also because his passing wasn't that good last game.
No, it wasn't. If you
Mhm.
if you if you're looking at any part of this team, where would you have some? Would you have any concerns about United's team anywhere?
I mean, if we play the same tempo we played Crystal Palace, uh, Norwich won't be a problem. We'll keep them in their half, so I hope so.
Yeah, we should be winning the ball high at the pitch. I thought they were
Yeah.
going to play. I thought they were going to play it three at the back with Max Aarons
Mhm.
as a wing back, but it looks like, well, according to this anyway, it looks like they're playing with four at the back.
For now, all the fixture we have seems winnable, so we have
I
to
mean,
go for it.
how many times have we said that? But you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. When with the manager that we've got now, tonight's going to be where we actually see it. Right. We've had two
Yes.
games under Rangnick. One was an exciting game against Palace that sort of exceeded our expectations, considering it was only his first game. And
Mhm.
then you had a completely changed team against Young Boys. So tonight is the first time where I think you might be able to properly see his system. They've had a full week training. The players have had a
Mhm.
week off. They should be fit and sharp. What's your prediction?
I'll go for 3-0. I mean, if we start like we start against Crystal Palace and we are sharp enough in front, we can score more 2 goals in the 50th minute.
What about the main man? Is he bagging? Is he going to get a goal tonight?
Yeah, of course. Of
don't,
course, of course.
don't bet on him not to score, right?
Yeah.
You'd be silly. Hey, look, 3-0, man. I'd absolutely take that. And as I said, looking at the stats here, that one really stands out to me.
Mhm.
Norwich this season have been conceding more than 2 goals a game.
Uh, to be honest, I didn't watch Norwich too much this season. So,
Why would
but
you?
last time they played last game, I don't know. I saw highlights in TV, so they weren't that good.
Look,
Mm-mm. Even with the ball.
they're certainly better under Dean Smith than they were under Daniel
Yes,
Farku. I think
yes,
that's
yes.
something we know, but
Hmm.
United should still be going to win tonight. I
Yeah.
like your 3-0. I like you. I like your 3-0. I hope it happens. But enjoy the game today, my man. I'll
Thank
speak to you
you.
soon.
You too, my friend.
Salim going for the 3-0 there. The clean sheet, second clean sheet in a row. Jeez, imagine that. A super chat in there from Chris. Let me read this one out before we quickly move on. How you doing, Chris? Nice to see you, buddy. So McFred is much more effective in this system. Dalot and Tellez are a threat going forward. A target man in Ronaldo, and then there's Sancho, Bruno, Rashford, Greenwood, the super sub. Easy win up the Rangnick Reds. It's amazing how, I don't know, how much more confidence we've all kind of got in the system, right? That we're going into this game and we're thinking, yeah, man, I see no reason why United can't do what we did against Crystal Palace, but even better. Norwich are a team who are not as good as Crystal Palace. Of course, Palace were out of form. They came into United off the back of a ropey couple of results, and we controlled that game. But we've had a full week, and it's all about time with this team. I think we all trust the fact that Ralph Ragnick will make Manchester United a better team, but it's how quickly he can establish that system and how we can build on it week on week. Because that's the thing that I think ultimately has pissed us off the most as United fans over the last few years. Is that even if we were to, I don't know, hypothetically we spanked West Ham 4-0 on a Saturday, and then on Wednesday we played West Brom, and the swings between United's performances have been insane, and we haven't had that level of consistency. I want to see that tonight so badly. I want to see Manchester United in that first half play like we did in the first half against Crystal Palace. I see no reason why we cannot do that. With the team that we've got there, we know that it works. We know that together, McTominay and Fred are going to offer a lot of control out of possession. We are going to control that midfield, and especially because Billy Gilmore's there on his own. I think that's a bit of I don't know. It depends how aggressive these two midfielders are. Who are they for Norwich tonight? They are McLean and Rupp. It depends how much they can disrupt McTominay and Fred. But then you're going to get Sancho dropping in, Sancho and Bruno should be able to find so much space. Look, all this space between the lines over there. Sancho and Bruno should have a lot of fun because Billy Gilmour is there as an isolated midfielder on his own. I want to see United doing it tonight. I want to see United playing like United. Here we go. The T Dep. Nice to see you there, buddy. I'm not sure you've left a comment before. Nice to have you on here. I'm shocked McTominay is permitted to start. Van der Beek should have been picked. Now, look, we all know, and I don't like the word agenda, right? Because I don't have agendas. I'm trying to think of any player I've got an agenda against. No, I kind of say things how it is. And I maintain a degree of objectivity. Obviously, you're going to have bias. It's the nature of football. It's kind of hard not to be biased. McTominay, out of possession, is a better midfielder for Manchester United. His work rate, his positioning, it just suits United more. If C's the big word, it's control. McTominay brings a bigger element of control out of possession and the organisation than Donny van der Beek does. But what Donny van der Beek is so much better at is in possession. We know that. We absolutely know that. If it was McTominay, say for example, it was McTominay off here, he's going down to the bench, and then Donny van der Beek comes on. We know what we want to see inside that 4-2-2. Is for Fred to maybe drop a little bit behind there, and for Van der Beek to move around aggressively, go between the lines, bring the ball forward. But McTominay, he trusts him. Something that he did say this week, and this is definitely a nod towards what he sees as the problems. Rangnick was talking about, McTominay and Fred did a lot of good stuff against Crystal Palace, but there were too many sideways and too many backward passes. So I think McTominay has got to improve that side of his game. He's a safe footballer. And safe footballers always, as far as the fans are concerned, they would rather not see too many safe footballers. They'd rather see players that take a bit more risk, that are a bit more creative, that are a bit more forward thinking. And that's why Van der Beek still for people is that player over Scott. Now, I've been completely honest. As I said, after that game against Young Boys, I don't think Van der Beek did enough to force his way into this team. And so many of you had a go at me, say, Sam, man, he's playing in midfield alongside Mata. What can you expect him to do? And then I said, cool. Well, Teden Mengi's not a left back. He's never played left back. Look how impressive he was at left back. So you can't just excuse that. I don't think Van der Beek did enough. I think he will still get plenty of chances this season. Hell, we might start against Brentford. We've got 2 games in 3 days now in the Premier League. So there's no huge rotation. There's no 11 going in and 11 going out. So it's going to be interesting to see how Rangnick manages that. What do you think about that? With a nod to the fact that we're playing Brentford on Tuesday, a much harder game, right? Brentford away, I believe it is. What do you think about the rotation and what's going to happen here? I'll head down to the comments. I'll read a few of your comments out. Gungshi, my good friend, how you doing there? I'm sensing a lot of goals today, 5 or 6-0. Wow. Didn't I see the Watford game? What? Our Watford game or not? Or did their Watford game? Jeez, don't remind me of Watford. No, I haven't played Watford, so you must talk about United. Of course I did. And I don't want to talk about it. Still hurts me. Let's go down here and see what else you're saying in the comments. How many times has Van der Beek played for you to judge? You're talking crap. Mate, Van der Beek has played a lot of... I'm not talking crap. I'm really not. How did Bailly lose his place, says Michael? As I said, it's simply... It's not really that Bailly lost his place, okay? He wasn't in the game against Crystal Palace. He impressed enough in that game against Young Boys that Bailly will now start against Brentford, and it's not an issue if our centre backs aren't completely fit. And it all depends on confidence. It all depends on consistency. If Manchester United go out today, we keep a clean sheet, and we beat Norwich 1-0, 2-0, 3-4, 5-6. It doesn't really matter. If we get 3 points today, and we do it with that sort of level of control that we showed against Crystal Palace, why are we going to change anything? Finally, Man United playing a bit of consistent football. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Whether or not you like Maguire, if we're doing that, great. And you're saying the form book has to go out the window when teams are playing us. They always step up. It's like their cup final. I just smell a bloody score draw. Well, and you are the king of the pessimistic prediction. That's what I call you, my friend. Sometimes you're right. Sometimes you're wrong. He hasn't played consistently enough to judge him, though. Look, I said this in my stream before. Van der Beek gets a lot of, because of how professionally he's acted, he gets more leeway from United fans, I think, anyway. Let's have a look. And he's not the midfield messiah, man. He's not. And I love the guy. I've supported him. Don't try and say I've got an agenda against him. It's silly. I think Greenwood deserves a start, says Levy. I think Greenwood dead. Yeah, he was in my predicted 11 for the game here. He got the assist against Aston. No, not Aston Villa. He got the assist against Crystal Palace, and he scored a cracker against Young Boys. I thought he was going to start, but clearly he hasn't. What I'll quickly do, actually, let's head over to see if Ralph Rangnick has said anything about explaining his team selection, about explaining why he kept that same 11 in. No, he's not. I'm excited to see this guy, though. For sure, I'm excited to see this guy. How good's he been in the last few weeks, eh? What's your opinion on Jadon Sancho tonight going into the game? Do you think he'll score? Do you think he'll keep up the same level of performance? Obviously, he was taken off against Crystal Palace. It's not necessarily that he was playing badly, but United pressed with such intensity in that first 45, 50, 60 minutes. He was taken off to give new legs, refresh the legs. That's why he was brought off. Gungshi, you're saying, I think Greenwood will start the next game or at least be used as a sub for sure. And saying, I'm sorry, but I'm not buying all the Van de Beek crap. If you're that good, you force your way into the team no matter what. End of. Simple as that. Mate, we have way too many arguments and conversations about Van de Beek, don't we? Jeez. And we might be signing Haidara in January. We might be signing Calvin Phillips, probably not. We might be signing Drew Bellingham, probably not. We might be signing a midfielder in January. If we do, you think there's going to be game time for Donny? He'll go even further down. Let's go down here and see what you're saying about Jadon Sancho, though. Sancho on fire, says Victorim. What a player. What a player. He will definitely score at least one, says Bourne. I'm going to call you Bourne. Hey, look, I'd love to see Sancho getting a score sheet tonight. What's happened with the Chelsea game? Let me quick look. I do a drawing. Let's have a look. Bastards. Bastards. 94th minute penalty. Sickener. Oh, well, never mind. Let's go back and see what you're saying about Jadon Sancho. Shane Greenwood is not starting, says Jim. I think it's a shame as well. I kind of think he deserved it. But again, we've got Brentford in 3 days. You're probably going to see Mason Greenwood start there. Maybe a goal, says Michael. Sancho, yeah, boy. This game is an opportunity for United to get more goals. I predict 4-0. And now that's kind of worth thinking about, because if we were to go over here in the Premier League table, I know it's not pretty reading at the moment. Well, with this stat anyway. Let's have a look at our goal difference. I bet it's absolutely horrendous. That's a big old advert. I don't want to see that. Right. Our goal difference. Let's zoom in so you can all see it. This is the Premier League table as it stands. Manchester United's goal difference. 1. Our goal difference is 1. That's so bad. Let's compare it to the teams around us. Well, Tottenham and Arsenal, that's not what we're aiming for. But even bloody West Ham have got a +9 goal difference. We need to get that up. But look, as I said, we've got to scroll the whole way down. Look at that. The bottom of the table. Rock bottom of the table. I mean, there's every chance they can stay up. Of course there is. There's only 6 points between 14th and 20th. So Norwich are not down and out this season. But we should be pumping them. 4-0. As I say, keep firing your predictions in. I'll get my prediction out to you quite soon. But you've got to be confident of Manchester United doing it tonight, because we've now got a manager that won't accept a polarizing performance, if you know what I mean. I think there's a new standard at Manchester United that has come in now with Ralph Rangnick, that there's an expectation from him now that the players will go out there and put his system into practice. And if all of a sudden we were to turn up today and just no one's in shape, no one's pressing, you think he's going to take that? No. As McTominay said during the week, he takes no shit in training. He really is drilling the players. Jim, you think it's going to be 5-0? Tyrone, you're going for 5-0 as well. I feel for Greenwood, says Football Matters. Think he should have started ahead of Rashford. Yeah, you know that as well. Chris, you're saying the next 9 games are all should win, and the players know it. Time to open the floodgates, boys. Yeah, man. We've got such a fortunate set of fixtures for Ralph Rangnick. Champions League done and dusted. The draw's on Monday. Make sure you join me live for that. That's going to be a cracker. We can now just focus on the league. We've got this game here. We've got Brentford on Tuesday. Then we've got Brighton on Saturday at 12:30. And then we've got a 9-day break until the 27th, where I believe we play Newcastle. And then I think we play Burnley. Man, I'm an encyclopedia. Nailed that. But look at those. Norwich. Brentford away is hard. That's probably one of the hardest ones. And we've got Brighton at home. kind of stuttering now by comparison of where they were. Let's have a look at their form, actually. Brighton, they're still in top 10, but yeah, no wins in their last 5. Only one loss, though, but a lot of draws. But United have got to be looking at these fixtures going, yeah, man, hell yeah, we should be winning these games. And with that team, as I said, we saw a massive, massive improvement against Crystal Palace. A massive improvement after only one training game. One training match, sorry. One training match, one training session. Therefore, we should all fairly expect us to be better drilled a week on. We should all fairly expect our players to be fitter and sharper tonight and less fatigued. Batteries have been recharged over the last week. Everybody should be sharp, ready. And for Norwich, kind of a bad time to play United. Let me go down here. How many goals will McFred cost us? Well, didn't cost us any goals against Crystal Palace, did they? We kept a clean sheet. 3-1 says John. What are the ones we've got down here? Michael, you're going for a 5-0. You are feeling chirpy. Imagine at some point 20-0 happened. No, that's only, was it England against Latvia, the women's team? I think that was 20-0. Was it 10-0? It was double figures anyway. 4-0 says Roberto. Nice to see you there, my friend. 8-0, 3-0, 2-0 Norwich says James. Hey, James, less of that. Less of that noise from you, my friend. Gungshi, how you doing, buddy? Thank you very much for this. This is the perfect opportunity for us to improve our goal difference. I think the players are going to be forced to up their game or lose their places. King Ralph, or Angel Ralph, as he's known as well, won't put up with repeated errors and consistent mediocrity. He will not, my friend. And you're spot on there. As I said, look, if we were to go back over here, back over to these stats, let's quickly pull these back up. As I said before, that stat down there is the most crucial one. Let's go a little bit of fuller screen on here. Norwich City, on average this season, have been conceding more than 2 goals a game. On average, more than 2 goals a game. I need Manchester United, therefore, tonight to really go aggressively against them. There's no pussyfooting around this game, all right? There's no pussyfooting. I want Manchester United to go in, turn the screw immediately. There's obviously going to be a bit of a buzz at Carrow Road, under the floodlights, 5:30 kickoff on a Saturday. When you're a relegation-threatened team, winning your home games it's what you have to base your season on. You have to base your season on getting as many wins at home as possible and then seeing what you can do away from home. But Norwich's last few games, we go back up here, we look at the form. Of course, it's improved a little bit under Dean Smith. But look, pumped by Spurs, 3-0 last game, drew against Newcastle, drew against Wolves. 2 wins in a row down there against Southampton and Brentford. You've got to back United to have a convincing win tonight. And that's probably what my prediction will be. I normally go with my prediction a little bit later on. But based on that team, based on how Manchester United played against Crystal Palace, based on Norwich's form going into the game, and based on a big thing here is the fact that we had a full week's rest. The whole squad, the whole of that starting 11 was rested against Young Boys. And it was a decision which was vindicated because it wasn't important to win that game against Young Boys. It was important to understand the squad. Now Rangnick did that, knows that. And this 11 here, they should be fit and sharp. I'm personally going to go. I'm going to agree with Salim. I'm going to go for a 3-0 Manchester United tonight. I think United should comfortably win this game. If we just continue, I'm not asking United to pull up trees here. If United continue with how we played against Crystal Palace and we go straight down that same trajectory, we're beating Norwich tonight. We're beating Norwich tonight. It's done and dusted. Simply put, they are a team which have, as I said, conceded more than 2 a game. They're bottom of the Premier League. And even though it's a Saturday and it's a 5:30, oh, is it windy there? Blah, blah, blah. United should be easily winning tonight. And that's why my prediction is going to be 3-0 to United. Let me head down here and go to the comments. We beat Spurs and then they beat Norwich. Must be 8-0 to us. Absolutely, you're spot on there. United's winning tonight, says Josh. Brian, you're saying very surprised Greenwood will have to come off the bench. Brian, you're not the only one, my friends. That's kind of all. That's the main conversation that we're having down here. I agree with you there, but in the same way, I'm sure Greenwood will come off the bench, and Greenwood will probably come on for the last 30. You would imagine. I would say we're looking at subs tonight. You're looking at Greenwood coming on for Rashford. You're probably looking at Lingard for Sancho. I would say that's probably going to be the 2 subs because both of those are really important in Manchester United maintaining the high press. They'll come off the bench and they'll make a difference. Who else have we got on that bench? If I'm looking at the 3 subs, I would expect us to make. I'm not sure Donny will get on today. He might do. No Matic on the bench. Jones, Shaw, maybe Shaw. Probably Donny. Probably that. Probably Donny for Bruno. Because you're not really. I don't think he'll bring Donny on for McTominay. As I said, I think it's the control that he wants there. But I definitely think we'll probably see Sancho get replaced at some point for Lingard, and I think we'll see Rashford replaced for Greenwood. And it's good because it's like for like players, if you know what I mean. Keeping that press with intensity. Pranav, you're going for a 5-0, my friend. Ian, you're going for over 4 to 5 goals, 4-1, get it on. I'm going for a 3-0 tonight. Ant, you're saying, I worry about the low block. I'm not sure Sancho and Rashford are the right men to beat that. I think we'll see them mostly in the back 5, 4 in the middle, and Pukki up top alone. I think you're right there. I was expecting, judging on Norwich's most recent games and looking at the formations and the lineups they had, I did expect them to line up with 5 at the back. Apparently, it's 4 at the back. Max Aaron's obviously going to be one of their biggest threats. He's very good down the right-hand side. Teller's going to have to make sure that he plays well. But look, Teller's played very well against Reece James, and he was and is the most informed right back in the Premier League. So if you can do it against Reece James, you should be able to do it against Max Aaron's, in my opinion anyway. Martin, you're going for a 4-0. And Chris, you're saying if we're leading comfortably, Van der Beek will come on for Bruno. Yeah. In the course of it, depending on the course of the game and how Manchester United are getting on, of course, therefore, we might see some changes happen. Let's go down here. John, what are you saying? I'm still to be convinced about Rangnick. I'm still very disappointed with many of our players. Any win for us will be another step forward. We are still a poor team. I'm convinced is the wrong word with Rangnick. I bought into a system straight away. I've completely bought into Rangnick and what he's trying to do. Of course, everybody's still to be convinced. He's only been in charge for 2 games. No one's convinced yet, but the signs are good. And what we need to see is my buzzword, the continuity between Palace and this game. I want to see us put the same performance in the first 45 minutes. There should be zero reason why we can't do that same performance. And Ant's right to be worried about a low block. If Norwich end up sitting in like 2 banks of 4, 1 there and 1 there, and basically Teemu Pukki just kind of operates as the lone striker up there, Manchester United will probably struggle to get it through the lines. They always will, but that's where this man steps up. That's where this man is the key. He is the key. That's the person that's got to play those vertical passes through the lines. Bruno's got to be the man. And it's also Jadon Sancho, right? As Rangnick said, it's the 2 hardest positions inside his system. The 2 most intense positions he used. That's the words he used. And I want to see what they do today. Anaj, I can see you waiting down there, mate. I'll bring you in just to hear what you're saying about the game. How you doing, buddy?
I've just returned home from my dinner just in time.
That's good. You know, what do you think about the game then, mate? What do you think about the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty the same lineup we saw against Palace, isn't it? I'm expecting 3-0 win for United.
You're going for a 3-0 as well then?
Yeah, Sancho and our fullbacks, Bruno, their creativity is going to be important in today's game.
Where do you see any weaknesses in our team tonight?
Not really. I mean, of course, Maguire and Lindelof, they both played pretty well. I don't know, man. McTominay maybe, but it's overall a balanced team, I feel. So we should be able to beat them very easily. I mean, 3-0 is my prediction.
Well, that's 3 predictions so far and 3 3-0s. I'd absolutely take that. I don't think there's any weaknesses in that team. I think you're right to call it balanced. I think that's exactly why he's kept that same 11, because we were balanced against Crystal Palace.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
fullbacks are going to be I mean, Dalot and Telles may have a huge role in today's game. Just put in crosses to Ronaldo and Rashford, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, eh? But look, mate, enjoy yourself. Thanks very much. Hope your dinner was good, and I'll speak to you soon, eh?
Yes, see you, man.
Bye. Viva Ronaldo says, as Gary, absolutely. And there was a comment there that you left that I sort of agree with. I think Bruno will be key today, ladies and gents, because I think we all know that they're going to sit. It's not, you can call it part the bus if you want, but if you're a team like Norwich and you're bloody rock bottom of the Premier League and you're playing an informed now Manchester United team, you've got to do what you can to get the result. Everybody, before I wrap up for the day, for the game quickly, fire in your predictions, all right? And I'll read as many out as possible just before we finish. But tonight, Man United have got to win. And I see no reason why we cannot do this comfortably. This is a sort of banana skin game that Manchester United have slipped up on so many times in the past few years. And what I want to see is a change of that habit. I want to see Manchester United building on what we did against Crystal Palace and going forward and going ahead. And therefore, this has to happen against Norwich. Norwich are 20th in the league. We can do it against Palace at Old Trafford. We should be able to do it against Norwich here tonight. Everyone's had a full week's rest. Everyone's had a full week's training with Rangnick. We've had a good week's build up to this game. So we should for sure be winning this game here tonight. John, you're going for a 2-0 United. Chris, you are going for a 3-0. 5-0 if we are there. Don't know what that means. 3-0 says Salim. 2 for Ronaldo, and 1 for Sancho. 5-0 with a Ronnie hat trick. Ronaldo should be having fun tonight, shouldn't he? Bradley, you're going for a 6-0, 3-0, 3-0. Lots and lots and lots of confident Manchester United fans here tonight. We go down here, read some more out. Robert, you're saying 3-0. Dylan, you're saying 3-0. Gary, you're going for a 3-1 or 5-1. And Hector, you're going for a 2-1. Hayder, 2-0. Hey, look, everyone's expecting it tonight. And that's a different sort of pressure, right? But I want to see Manchester United doing that. We could have been 2 or 3-0 up in the first half against Crystal Palace. We weren't clinical enough. We could have been 2 or 3-0 up in the first half against Young Boys, but we weren't clinical enough. If those patterns repeat themselves, we're going to create goal-scoring opportunities in this first half. Norwich concede, on average, more than 2 per game in the Premier League this season. We have to go there tonight. Make sure I want it to be 2-0 before half-time, then come out and just control and hit on the counter for that second 45. That's what I want to see. But look, I'll wrap this one up now. So you've got nice 20 minutes to go and prepare yourself for the game. Thank you very much for everybody for joining in. Feels like a slightly quiet one tonight because maybe it's Saturday night, 5:30 kickoff. Bit weird one, isn't it? But look, enjoy yourself. Make sure you come here after the game and join me for my match reaction. But thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you, everybody who sent in a super chat and everybody who sent in your comments. As I always say, I try to make this as interactive as possible. And I can't do that without you. But enjoy the game. And I hope that we see a big continuation of what we saw against Crystal Palace. Fingers crossed.